It's Wild Take Wednesday. We are on 20,000. Let's go. We are on 20,000. Let's go. If you are in Iverson, tonight is for you. If you are in Iverson, tonight is for you. We're on 20,000. We're going to start. Believe in the you. I just want to start by greeting everybody. Big shout out to everybody, all 44 people that are here. If you're watching on TikTok, big shout out. If you're watching on Twitch, whomever's on Twitch, big shout out. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe the video. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe the video, or like the video and subscribe to the channel, rather, UNC'S Corner Live. But if you're watching this live with me, welcome to Wild Take Wednesdays right here on UNC'S Corner. Let's go. For those who don't know what Wild Take Wednesdays is, Wild Take Wednesdays is the conversation portion of UNC'S Corner. It happens every Wednesday, 9 o'clock, and I am the host, Unc. Tonight we're going to be talking about Iverson. We're going to be talking about the Radio Man, aka Nasty C, and we're going to be talking about Nasty C's album Free. Let's go. After talking about Nasty C, we're going to talk about Zynga and Speedster. So if you are part of the Twitch, you can see me when I refer to the videos. If you're not part of Twitch and you're on TikTok, it's fine. You'll probably be able to see the clips when I post them on YouTube. Don't forget to follow, or rather subscribe on the YouTube channel UNC'S Corner Live. And ladies and gentlemen, without wasting too much time, let's get into it. It is Wild Take Wednesdays. The Radio Man, Nasty C. Let's go. So, I'm glad you here, Sandra. Glad you here. All right, cool. We're talking about Free. For those who don't know, Nasty C released an album called Free. We're not gonna play the album. I'll be breaking down the tracks. I'll be breaking down the album track by track. We're not gonna play the album because we'll get DMCA'd. This is my review of the album. Obviously, as you guys know, the format of Wild Take Wednesdays, I'll talk. You guys will interact on the comments, right? And we'll definitely be unpacking this whole thing. It is very important for me to say this is going to be the best review in the country right now. Once this thing drops on YouTube and on all social media platforms, this will be the best review of Nasty C's album in the country. This will be so good, this might find its way to Nasty C. So niggas, if you are here watching this live with me, right, doing this live with me, know that you're about to be part of a historic moment. And if you're watching this on YouTube, just know that you missed out. But this is about to be the greatest review of Free by myself, Unc, right here on UNC'S Corner. Let's go. All right, cool. We're going to start with the intro, right? We're going to start with the intro. I want to pull up Spotify real quick. Because I wrote on my notes intro, but I know the intro has a name, right? I wanna start with the intro. Before I tell y'all the overall idea of what I think of the album, I think it's best for me to drop track by intro actually, to drop things track by track. We are talking about Free by Nasty C that dropped last week. It is a 39-minute, 36-second album with 16 songs. We're gonna start with the intro. The intro is fire. Very Nasty C, like very quintessential Nasty C. Bars are always out there. You understand? He starts the intro by giving you what I call the vices of the righteous. And the vices of the righteous will most definitely be across this whole album. What the vices of the righteous are is how a righteous man is trying to balance having a strong moral compass, yet still faltering or giving in to his vices. And the intro opens up that beautifully. Musically, Nasty C is probably one of the best in the country. There's a lot that I said about Nasty C in prior Wild Take Wednesdays that this album has most definitely changed. My mind has changed. But the intro is amazing, right? The production value is just out of, like, the production value of this album is out of this world, right? And then moving from the intro to Lefty with Blackie, right? Lefty is probably one of my favorite songs on here. I think one of Nasty C's best displays, right? I don't know who produced here, right? You would think that some people. I thought that it was Nasty C himself that produced here, but I saw in the credits there were some other guys and whatever the case may be. But the intro, like the transition from intro to Lefty, probably some of the most seamless transitions, right? I've heard. I think I heard a similar transition on business as usual with A Reese. You understand? Moving from Sunday's intro to so much, I believe is the name, right? Same here. Moving from intro to Lefty. Obviously, the tempo is different. You understand? But just I don't know. Like I think what's happening right now is that bros are learning how to make albums or have figured out how to make albums, right? Or they probably prioritizing the quality of the album in as far as the listener's journey. And yeah, I was just like, caught up. You understand, with the intro, how it goes, the production value, the rapping. Obviously, we know that Nasty C is one of the best rappers out here, a phenomenal rapper. And then moving from that to a jiggy song like Lefty. What I will say, what caught me is the line, something along the lines was, "I'm from the jungle, Awumba way." I like that line. I like how he put it there. I like his whole delivery on Lefty. To be quite honest, his delivery on Lefty, I think it's every time there's a trend, right? The slim Stuponga, like that trend that's on TikTok right now. Every time I hear Nasty's voice when they're about to do that trend, I'm taken aback. I think this is probably one of the best displays. You understand, when it comes to thingy. If Lefty is produced by Mash Beats, I didn't even know. Hey, I didn't even know. But yeah, I think. Look, Lefty is the best. Blackie sounds the same everywhere. You understand? I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. You understand? I'm just indifferent. You understand? Even when it came out as the single, just his as a contrast between what Nasty's doing to what Blackie's doing. It feels like, to me, given the fact that Nasty has so many bags, right? He can go the singing bag, he can go the rapping bag and whatever. On Lefty, he does this weird auto-tune, Tory Lanez type thing with his vocal register that just brings a little bit more sauce to the song. And then Blackie just comes and becomes Blackie. And I guess one can appreciate Blackie for being Blackie. To me, it sounded monotonous. I think I'm hearing Blackie so much across the board, whether you're hearing him with Brady, whether you're hearing him by himself, whether you're hearing him with Nasty, whether you hear him with somebody else. He doesn't bring different versions of himself. You understand? He just brings the same Blackie. And I don't know, maybe his sound is saturated. Maybe the sound is not for me. You understand? But I think again, intro to Lefty, more specifically Nasty C's performance on Lefty, phenomenal. Then we go into track 3, Smoking, which is very important to note that it is a splice sample. It is a splice sample. Lefty was actually produced by a producer from Internet Money, not Mash Beats. All right, cool. Thank you very much for clarifying that. Planet says, and I never understood why that's the case with Blackie, because he showcased his versatility. Look, I don't know. Niggas could be just comfortable with where they are. You know, I cannot say it as far as Blackie. I am not him. You understand? But yeah, like he has become monotonous in as far as his display in songs. Then we're gonna go into track 3, Smoking, which is a splice sample. I'll say this, right, and maybe this is unfair, right, and maybe this is unfair, and I'll come back to it. Smoking sounds like it should be an A Reese and Nasty C song, right, because it's more so an A Reese vibe. You understand what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying that Nasty can't do the A Reese thing or A Reese can't do the Nasty thing. You understand? What I am saying is that if they had to collaborate on something that was going to feel good for both of them, Smoking could have been the best song. You understand? I wrote here, Smoking sounds like a Saturday morning errand run. You understand? It's good music. You understand? It's good music. When I listen to Smoking, it sounds like I'm driving. It's a Saturday, right? I'm not doing too much. It's not too crazy. It's not all over the place. What I like about it, in as far as tempo wise, is that it brings you back down. there's a lot of tension and release that you need in an album in order to make an album a great listening experience, right? I think it offers the release from the tension of Lefty, given the fact that Lefty is a club banger, given the fact that Lefty is very musically dense. You understand, especially when it comes to the 808, his delivery, right? Again, a lot of tension on intro, given the fact that he's opening up and he's telling you this is an album where I'm gonna struggle with the vices of the righteous, right? So you need something that is gonna pull you back and give you a release. I think Smoking is one of the songs that do that. Again, a splice sample. Planet says, Smoking feels like a draft. It feels incomplete for your liking. I think that's intentional, right? I think, again, an album requires a lot of tension and release in order for it to be a great listening experience, and I think Smoking is one of those songs. However, right? However, I think if Aries and Nasty were to be on a song that would fit both of them, right? I think Smoking would have been the song. You understand? I think Smoking would have been the song. However, excuse me, I think it being Trap number 3, it works still. Like I said, tension and release. Then we go into Switch, right? What I like about Switch is the beat, right? I find the messaging quintessential message about change. You understand? Like, oh, they I can't change on my boys, I can't change on my fans, I can't change on my family, whatever the case may be. Again, it's very important to note, Nasty C is a phenomenal Vices for the Righteous writer, right? Phenomenal, hey, I'm dealing with a moral compass writer. Phenomenal, he can tell you what he's going through in real time, and you can feel him. You can feel the struggle. That, hey, listen, dog, I'm in the club and I want to handle whatever I need to handle, but I got friends and family and a partner and a child to raise. And I think Switch is in that lane where it's like I cannot switch. It's what you hear when it comes to this album, specifically Free. You hear a lot of politicking of integrity. You understand? You hear him ask permission from himself to remain integral to what he believes in, but at the same time you hear him ask permission from himself to let go of certain things that he thought, you understand, he was loyal to, right? And on Switch you hear that. It's the quintessential rapper message of change. I like the beat, but I wrote here more so the mix. You understand? Very, very, very clean mix. Extremely clean mix. I love the whole album itself. You understand? Clean mixing, clean instrumentation. A little bit too much sometimes, but from intro to Switch, right? There's a great understanding of where we are. You understand? Both musically, and as far as instrumentation, both the listener's journey in as far as little ear candy, that they put in the album, the mixing, wherever the case may be. Like you are walking with him, right? You are walking with him from intro to Lefty to Smoking, then to Switch. Then it gets weird for me. With Head Up. I hate Head Up. I don't like it at all. I don't like the beat. I don't like the sound. I just don't like Head Up. However, I will say though, the only thing that I like about Head Up is him silencing the Aries and him feud, right? Where he mentions that his success, Aries' success, doesn't bother his success, because he gets to the money too. He gets to the success. The messaging remains the same. However, I don't like Head Up. I hate it. It has this weird American Southern country music influence to the sound. I don't know why he decides to do that, because that doesn't sit well with us and as far as culturally, right? I don't know if you're doing a sync play. I don't know if you're trying to tap into an American audience, a white American audience to be more specific, or a Southern American audience. I don't like it. You understand? Again, because he's a phenomenal writer, I can appreciate the writing, I can appreciate the messaging, but the song as a whole, I don't like it. I think it's weird, right? Sonically, I think, like it doesn't fit. You understand? It doesn't fit with us sonically. I don't know. I don't know. Planet says finally someone else says it. As much as it's been a leak since 2019. Oh, so I guess it's an old song. I guess it all makes sense. If it's a leak from 2019, I guess it makes sense given the fact that around that time he was running around, Atlanta and whatever. So the southern country music influence, right, would make sense. But yeah, listen, I yeah, I don't think. Oh, he's referring to MSP. Oh, okay, cool. Then you guys are having a completely different conversation. But yeah, head up. I don't like it. Head up. Oh, he's talking about head up. All right, cool. Yeah, head up. I don't like it. I don't like it. I think it's weird in as far as placement sonically. And it kind of creates a weird thing. Don't forget, I spoke about tension and release, right? Tension and release. We went from smoking, that was a release. Then we got to switch, which brings us tension again. And then head up puts you in this weird space where you don't know where you fit. And then you go into hate soft, right? I wrote here the first 30 seconds I knew I would hate it. Right. However, I wrote here in asterisk, I believe this is a crossover play song. Right. If it is, I can appreciate the business behind it. It is a 5FM, KFM, high felt type song. Right. Hate soft suspension. What's going on? What are we talking about as far as suspension? Who's being suspended? What's going on, TJ? Suspension. What suspension? I don't know what TJ is talking about. But anyway, yeah, like hate soft, like I said, first 30 seconds I knew I would hate it. And I think from head up to hate soft, right, what you are, tension, suspension, then release. Oh yes. Right. So from head up to hate soft, what I'm thinking he's doing, he is trying to play the radio game globally. You understand? He's trying to play the radio game globally. Hate soft will definitely play, you understand, on nationally syndicated radio stations like your 5FM, right? It will play on a KFM, it will play on a high felt. You understand? That's Rex. You understand? Like I said here, I believe there's a crossover song. If it is, I appreciate the business play behind it. You understand? However, from the first 30 seconds, I hated the song. Same as Head Up. I feel like they fall within the same universe. You understand? And like I said, I think he is playing for an international appeal. I can appreciate the playing of the international appeal. Yeah, but Head Up from Switch, then Head Up and Hate Soft, I think for me personally, bad listening experience. And then we come to That's What's Up, which was the first repeat. So I'm listening to the album, I get to That's What's Up, and I repeat it. That's What's Up is a short song. However, I like the song enough for me to repeat it. You understand? I wrote here, I love the message. It's a feel-good song. Stand up man messaging. Obviously, I love when rappers speak like men. You understand? He takes little shots at rapper living. I think that's what's up. I love it for the messaging. I like the chorus. I love it for the messaging. I like how he wrote the chorus. I'm a fan of Nasty's writing on this album in particular. Even the songs that I hate, I can appreciate the writing. But that's what's up. I think, again, that's my second favorite song because, again, going back to the vices of the righteous, right? He's addressing us as a man. You understand? He's addressing us as a man. Like, yo, dog, I like going home. I like to see my nieces and nephews. They really think I'm cool. When I say, yo, I was with Drake, they believe me. You understand? I take care of my kids. I was raised by my dad. You understand? My dad raised me and my brother to take care of our kids, right? We don't leave our kids. We handle business. No matter how hard the business is, we handle business. And those who know me, they know I'm a big fan of that because I believe in that. I believe a man always has to show up no matter what. You understand? Because you're a man, right? And you've got manly responsibilities. And I love that he spoke from the perspective of a man and the perspective of a male human. You understand? And a male human with responsibilities like a child in a relationship with Sammy Heavens. And again, love the fact that, you know, he's been speaking about his father in most of his music. He's been speaking about how, you know, God, you know, has influenced his decision making and how his father kind of walked him through that path, you understand, in as far as believing in God and whatever the case may be. And That's What's Up is one of I think, or maybe the only song on this here album that speaks of that in a very clear, concise way that doesn't need to sound good, right, for radio, or doesn't need to make the young kids dance or whatever the case may be. This is what I call human music or mad music. So once it gets to That's What's Up, I was like, all right, cool, we back. I was like, all right, cool, we back. You know, Head Up and Hate Soft kind of threw me off, but That's What's Up, we back. Very important to note, splice sample also. There's 2 splice samples that I caught on this album. It's That's What's Up and then Smoking, right? Another thing, right? Another thing, let me see if I need to read anything here. Niggas having their own comments, right? Cool. Niggas having their own conversations here, cool. So that's my take, that's my review, and That's What's Up. And then we get to 10 shooters, right? 10 shooters. With 10 shooters, what I want to do is, I want to do 2 things. I want to retract my statement that I made a couple Wild Take Wednesdays ago when I said MT can do the nasty thing, but nasty can't do the MT thing. And what I was referring to is that MT is one of the greatest hook masters in this country. Right? He can pen a radio hit effortlessly. Right? If you listen to DIY, if you listen to DIY2, if you listen to Avery, if you listen to Manando, right? If you listen to those albums when MT was at his peak, right? You couldn't tell me that MT is not probably the best songwriter in the country. And a couple of Wild Take Wednesdays ago, I said that MT and Nasty are both talented, but Nasty can never do the MT thing, but MT can do the Nasty thing, because I believe that MT, right, is a decent rapper, decent enough though to stand next to a Nasty C. Of course, they're not gonna go bar for bar. They're gonna make a great song, and we heard it with I think it's Winning on Avery, featuring Nasty C, if I'm not mistaken. That's the name of the song. However, moving from That's What's Up and going to 10 Shooters. 10 Shooters is the song that makes me retract my statement and want to lodge an official apology to Nasty C. Big dog, I wasn't familiar with your game, because this is a radio hit. I wrote here, right? I wrote here, radio heat, right? He really took off on the hook, right? The hook for 10 Shooters is amazing. The song itself is amazing. Radio scorcher. There's no way that the song will not kill the YFMs and the youth radio stations and the community radio stations, right? And the urban radio stations, if there is such for us in South Africa, because we do have provincial syndicated radio stations that speak to a specific demographic like a YFM, right? And I think that demographic, 10 Shooters, right, will most definitely and unequivocally be the song that will really scorch them charts, right? Everywhere on YFM, I can hear it. I can hear it again on 5FM, right? I think there's a bunch of radio stations that will take this and playlist the song. It is a radio heat. At this point, I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay. At this point, I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay. Maybe David is coming on some crazy, because he took us from intro to Lefty to Smoking. Lefty's on the radio, right? There's no way Lefty's is on the radio, right? There's no way Lefty's not on the radio, rather. Lefty is on the radio. It's banging. It's a certified hit, right? It will scorch up radio. It's scorching up radio. We come to Head Up. We come to Hate Soft. Hate the songs, but the songs will most definitely scorch nationally syndicated stations, white stations. It's about to be a different type of time. Joburg Day, he's definitely going to be there. 94.7, whatever the gig they're doing, he's definitely going to be there. All the white festivals in Cape Town, he's definitely going to be there. Head Up and Hate Soft next year, Rocking the Daisies, he's definitely going to be there. So I'm looking at it from that perspective. I'm like, if we use industry metrics, right? Thus far, Free is a monstrosity. You can see there's a man that comes from the Def Jam pipeline. You can see there's a man that was signed. You can see there's a man that was taken to multiple radio stations across the world. You can see there's a man that sat with the best A&Rs, the best writers in the world, the best producers in the world, right? So at this point, by 10 shooters, I'm going lefty, head up, hate soft, right? And 10 shooters. That's 4 songs that could rock radio for the rest of this year and next year, right? Now I'm like, okay. Oh, is it? Sorry, it's soft. Sorry, I wrote it as hate soft because I'm like, I hate soft. My bad. My bad. Soft, not hate soft. My bad. Right. Let me remove that. Right. So he was a Daisy. He killed. So that's the thing, right? So I'm going lefty. I'm going head up. I'm going soft. I'm going 10 shooters. I'm like, okay, cool. This is a problem, right? This is a problem and a good problem. So now I'm sitting there. I'm like, okay, this is a completely different album to the album that I listened to last week. And not to do this comparison, but I know you guys are going to do it. You understand? But this is a completely different album from the album that I was reviewing last week. Because this album is an industry album, whereas that album is a culture album. Right? I'm like, all right, cool. We on a different type of time. Right? That's me. I'm sitting there. I'm like, okay, we're on a different type of time. Right? The album that I listened to last week was a culture album. It's for the culture, it's for the fans, it's for all that. This album is for the industry. Big shout out to, oh my God, big shout out to Becky for the Galaxy. God damn. Jesus. Right? So I'm sitting here, I'm like, okay, we on a different type of time. Big shout out to Becky. My bad, Becky, I want to go crazy, but I'm really locked in on this review right now. But big shout out. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, we on a different type of time, right? We on a different type of time. Then guess what happens? The most ironic thing happens. Mind you, as the listener, I'm going, the album I reviewed last week is a far different album to the album I'm reviewing right today, or I'm listening to today, and I'm making notes. Because the album last week is beautiful music, you know, he's talking that grown man shit to the culture. This one, he's doing the exact same thing, but he is lining it up for sync licensing. He's lining it up for radio. He's lining it up for the big festivals, the commercial festivals. He's lining it up for the music business, right? So I'm like, okay, cool. That's where the fundamental difference is when it comes to both artists. And then we go into Ice, which samples Big Pun and Joe, I Don't Want to Be a Player No More, of which the ironic part about it is that Mash Beats and the Wrecking Crew and A. Reese, right, sampled the same song on Tell Me What You Want. So when you listen to the song, when you listen to Ice, you would think that he sampled A. Reese and them on Tell Me What You Want, but it's actually the original sample is Fat Joe and Joe, I mean Big Pun, sorry, not Fat Joe, Big Pun and Joe, I Don't Want to Be a Player No More, right? Now, to me, I'm like, do you do this on purpose? Is it a nod to the man? Is it a shot to the man? I'm like, all right, cool. He already addressed the fact that he's not competing with him, right? They both bros, whatever the case may be. But I found that as very funny. However, the song itself, I think it's a throwaway. I think Ice is a throwaway, right? I'm not hearing it personally. You understand? And with that being said, I think now what's happening is that we go from, oh, okay, this album is about to go crazy, to, all right, cool, what are we doing now, right? That's, again, don't forget, right, we are trying to follow what's going on. The message remains consistent, but now you're trying to see where the songs are placing you, right? I'm like, okay, 10 shooters, I'm hype. Radio station, I'm outside. That's what's up. I'm chilling in the cut like peroxide, listening to the message. Love the message. Soft, I guess I'm sitting here there with my Ricky. We outside. It's Joburg Day, right? Head up, we outside, rocking the daisies, right? Switch, I'm in the car or wherever I'm at. We rapping, talking about change. You understand? Smoking is Saturday, right? I just got out. My baby's in the bedroom, right? Airbnb balcony. It's Saturday morning. It's just the boxes or the shorts without the shirt. I'm standing outside. I'm smelling the Joburg air while the jacarandas are out. You know what I mean? Lefty, we just come from the club. So on Friday, we on Lefty. On Saturday, we on smoking. And then the intro's like, oh, this is, we drive into the club while we listening to this. So you see, every song places me somewhere. Now we get to Ice. I'm like, this doesn't place me anywhere. This doesn't place me anywhere. Where are we going with it? Right? I'm like, okay, cool. No problem. No problem. Everybody needs an album filler. Everybody needs something, a throwaway joint, to transition from one song to another. We get to Psychic. I believe Psychic was the first song from Free, right? Tense on the whip. You're moving like a fish. Don't like the song. Don't care for the song. You understand what I'm saying? Even when it came out, I'm just like, you know what I mean? So now on Ice, I'm like, on Psychic, I'm like, right? I'm like, okay, now that's two songs. That's two songs. I'm like, okay. Now, some may say, yo, Psychic bangs. I'm good, but now you must understand. At this point, what's starting to happen is that ear fatigue is happening. And I'll explain the ear fatigue. Right, my bad. Well, at this point, when we get to Psychic, ear fatigue is happening. And I'll explain the ear fatigue. Right? Because now what's happening is that we still up-tempo, but like we in limbo now. You understand? With the up-tempo Situlala. We like, we went to the Joe and Big Pun sample. Now we up there again. Like, where are we? Right? Then we get to MSP. Most probably the worst song on the album. Most probably the worst song, if not the worst song on the album. And I'll explain to you why. This all respect to DJ Speedster, but I think it was DJ Speedster's creative direction for this song to exist. After everything that I heard from Free, there's no way Nasty's sitting there and going, this song bangs. And what makes it even funnier is that the reunion song after they beef is so rubbish that it feels like even the reunion is forced. Right? I think the creative direction is Speedster's. Now, there's no disrespect to Speedster. Right? There's no disrespect. He gave us mail. Speedster gave us mail. That song has been running the club for damn near a decade. But this song is not for me. I'm so sorry. Those who love it, they love it. But the song is most definitely and unequivocally not for me. Right? I think it's a filler. I think what we doing at this point is that from Ice to Psychic to MSP, we're just putting songs in to fill in the album. Mind you, the album is almost 40 minutes. It's 39 minutes. Right? So in order not for it to hit the weird EP mark, we're just going to add things. And I think Ice, Psychic, and MSP are the songs that I just added to make sure that we hit that number. Right? Cool. We get to Selfish. Right? Once we get to Selfish, I wrote here, ear fatigue in as far as the sound. But it's a letter to Sammy. I can't hate on that. However, I would have loved if he went into his introspective beat bag. Right? With Selfish, again, the vices of the righteous. I'm talking to my baby. If this thing between you and I doesn't work, I pray that you get a nigga who's gonna handle situations like I do. Till that day comes, though, I'm still gonna handle situations. Right? Love that message. Real nigga shit. Man conversations. Right? Hate the sound. I think he should have went into the introspective bag, bro, go fetch a Drake type beat, a 4 a.m. in something, you know what I mean? I think this would work. However, just like, what's that song that he has with Rolene? The song that he has with Rolene, I forgot, I think it's SMA, right? SMA, right? I think Selfish was another attempt to do an SMA, right? Definitely a radio song. Send me away. SMA. I think Selfish is most definitely trying to be an SMA or a SMA. I would have loved for it to go into his introspective bag. However, love the message though. Love the message. Man shit. Love the message. Now, we are in this weird space where sonically we don't know where we're going. All right? Sonically we don't know where we're going because after 10 shooters, it's been weird for like 4 songs, right? Then we get to Big Timing, I believe is the name of the song. All right? We get to Big Timing. Right? There's a Big Timing, yes. We get to Big Timing with Tellerman. I wrote here, sounds like a sync licensing play. I don't like it at all. Right? I don't like it at all. Right? Sounds like a sync licensing play. 5FM, KFM, High Felt, definitely radio song. So now, according to me, I'm like, we got 1, 2, 3, right? Soft, right? Not hate soft, it's soft, right? So we got 1, 2, 3, right? Excuse me. 4, 5, 6 radio songs. We've got 6 radio songs, right? The album is 16 songs. We have 6 radio contention songs. I'm not gonna fight that. I may not like some of the radio songs, with the exception of 10 Shooters and Lefty. All the other radio songs, I don't like them personally, right? But I appreciate the radio play. I appreciate it. I can see it. I appreciate it. Let's go. Then we get to Evidence. I wrote here, radio song again. We get to Other Plans, and then we get to Not Tonight with Tejo. I wrote here, good to hear Tejo. And that concludes the album. I want to apologize to Nasty C specifically by calling it Hate Soft. It's soft. Right. I want to apologize to him. I just wrote here Hate Soft. Right. Because I didn't like soft, but it's not Hate Soft. It's soft. Right. So I want to apologize for that if he ever gets to watch this thing. Right. But Other Plans, I didn't write anything about it, so that means it's not memorable to me. Not Tonight, I didn't write anything about it, just wrote good to hear Tejo. Evidence, I wrote radio song again. You understand? Now here's my takeaway. Right. Now I listen to the whole thing. Here's my takeaway. Yes, this is gonna go on YouTube. Here's my takeaway. Right. My takeaways are, number 1, Nasty knows how to write and structure a song that transcends genre. Right? It's very important to note. It's very important to note. Nasty knows how to write and structure a song that transcends genre. I love that about this album. I love that about this album. Right? Nasty cements himself as one of the greatest or one of the best writers in this country, because he can write for all genres. All right, he can definitely now write for all genres. He can write the big song, he can write the culture song, he can write the club song, he can write the introspective song, he can write all kinds of songs. And I think we need to give him his flowers. Nasty C is one of the best writers in this country, and the album showed this. One of the best musicians, one of the best writers in this country. If you want to talk about the difference between, because I know you guys like the division, if you want to talk about the difference between Nasty and A. Reese, I will say A. Reese is a phenomenal rap artist. One of the best rap artists in this country. Nasty C is a phenomenal hip-hop artist, right? That's looking to transcend the genre. What I mean by that, I did explain to you guys, right? But I'll explain to you guys again. A rap artist focuses on the technicalities of the words, how he says the words, when he says the words, why he says the words is based on technique. A hip hop artist is based on the lifestyle around the culture. Nasty C writes phenomenal songs about the lifestyle around the culture. A. Reese writes phenomenal songs in as far as the technicalities of the art itself. Right? So A. Reese is a phenomenal rap artist. Nasty C is a phenomenal hip hop artist that is looking to transcend the hip hop genre, seemingly, when it comes to this album. And I appreciate that. I really do. Right? I think the album itself, it's musically dense with extremely big instrumentation. What I mean by that is that the amount of synths, the amount of leads, the amount of arpeggiators, the amount of 808s used, and how very like clean they mix them, it causes a lot of ear fatigue. Don't forget we spoke about tension, right? Suspension, release, right? The listening experience, most of it is high tempo, which can cause ear fatigue. You don't get to relax. You always hear. You understand? So you always tense when you're listening to the music, right? Because of the production choices. Like I said, the synths, the leads, the arpeggiators, the 808s. You understand? Like it's a lot of like heavily like dense instrumentation musically. And I think for a listening experience, especially for a 40-minute album, it's a little bit, it can cause ear fatigue. You get tired. Or I got tired when I was listening to it, right? I did right here, though, the messaging is the vices of the righteous. I credit that to his dad, his faith in God. He writes about his life from a moral compass standpoint very well. He knows how to move around in as far as talking about his experience as a man. And I can only appreciate that as a writer, as a rapper, and as a hip-hop listener. It was a great 40 minutes, 39 minutes and 32 seconds. Again, I would have required a lot of more suspension and release, but I like the album. I think the album is very, very necessary. I'm glad that hip hop gave us 2 albums, I think back to back, right? In as far as the 2 youngest rappers, or what was once the 2 youngest rappers in the game. I love the grown man perspective from both. But if I had to zero in on Nasty C, dog, you are one of the greatest, and it's time that we give you. It's time that we give you your flowers, big dog. It's time that we give you your flowers. You wrote one of the best hip hop albums. You wrote one of the best hip hop albums to drop this year. I love the play. I understand that not everybody's gonna make culture music. Not everybody's gonna make street music. Not everybody's gonna make club music. People are writing for the music industry, some of them, and you are one of those guys. And even if you're writing for the music industry, it's not contrived, it's not forced, and it's most definitely not cheap. You took your time, you put your messaging into this, right? You came through with big production, very wide production, musically dense production, because you know you have a goal for this thing. Now that you're independent, I appreciate that. I like the album, bro. Big shout out to you, and I hope Free will indeed set you free. Big shout out to Nasty C. I love the album. Let's go. Big shout out to Becky FTC, baby. Big shout out to Becky FTC, baby. Now I can take the question. I do not rate albums. I didn't rate Business as Usual last week. I didn't rate Business as Usual last week. I'm not gonna rate Free this week. If I did listen to it and I reviewed it on my platform, just know I liked it. I don't like rating albums because I feel like it's unfair, because what am I rating it against? Right? What am I rating it against? Because if we're saying out of 10, what am I rating it against? You understand? If did I say an 8 out of 10 last week? Did I say that? Did I say that? I don't remember saying that. Even in the footage, I don't remember saying that. Did I say that? I don't remember. I said a 9. Oh, yes, I did say a 9. No, I didn't rate it. I said at that moment in time, it sounded like a 9. You guys saw the clips. You guys saw the clips, right? I said at that moment in time, it sounded like a 9. But if you had watched the full video, I didn't rate it as an album, right? The clips messaging said, oh, Unc says it's a 9, but I didn't rate it as a 9. You guys fell for the bait. You see, content, that's what it does to y'all. Clickbait. I didn't rate it directly. I didn't rate it directly. Y'all bought the bait. Y'all bought the bait. Y'all bought the clickbait. You know, I didn't rate it because what am I rating it against? I think it's a good hip hop album, right? I think it's a good hip hop album, but I do think I can rate it against his previous work. The last time I listened to Nasty C, it was Strings and Blings. Everything after that I didn't listen to because I wasn't impressed with Strings and Blings. Now Strings and Blings ended up to become a goated project, but to me it was still like you know what I mean. But yeah, what is Nash saying? Do you think there is an overcompensation for the lack of label backing? Yes. I think what he did, and this is the genius of Nasty C as a musician and having been through the label system, he understands what's gonna sell and what's not. He understands that he is used to the machine of selling. He understands which songs will sell, right? And he's gonna make the songs that sell. That's why he has about 6-7 like potential chart-topping hits on here, right? I feel like he's playing the Billboard game. If we did have Billboard, he's playing the Billboard game. He knows that he's gonna put up numbers in the board, right? He knew that he didn't make hits that will take off. I think Lefty is really the only hit that will take off, like street-wise and chart-wise and whatever. But I think with the other ones, he said, I'm not gonna play the street game. I'm definitely gonna play the radio game. And since I'm independent, I'm gonna play the sync licensing game. So I think some of these songs, there's business opportunities behind them, and we are still yet to see them. I mean, you've been seeing him work with a lot of brands, right? So most definitely there are conversations that are being had to use some of these songs for ads and so on and so forth. So I think he did overcompensate because there's no label backing, and I think this is probably the best example of what you should do as an artist if you are trying to play the music industry game. So yeah. Let us appreciate A-Reese and Nasty while they still here. Great moment in SA hip hop, a great moment in SA. Most definitely, this is a great moment in SA. It even got me, like, I don't listen to the bros that much. You understand? I don't listen to the bros that much because they were not making music for me. So I'm now that they're making music for me, which is grown man music, I think I will listen to it, you know. But phenomenal album. Excuse me, phenomenal album. I think I dropped Set Up to the Show. I don't know what Life RSA is saying. I think I dropped Head Up to the Show. What? Oh, I think he dropped Head Up to show us that he really is free and he can drop any song he wants now. I don't think so. No. I don't Kumalo, bro, there's rules like coming to what I do. There's content structuring coming to what I do. So I just don't be reviewing albums that guys tell me to review. I have a council that I sit with, and we sit and we go, will this impact the conversation in hip hop or whatever the case may be? So I'm not gonna review albums. What is it called? Retrospectively, right? So I appreciate that, but I am dictated by my council. My council tells me, like, hey, Unc, this would be thingy. So yeah, but anyway, I don't think so, right? What Life RSA is saying is that he dropped He dropped Head Up to show us that he can drop whatever song he wants. I think he can drop whatever song he wants. Anyone can drop the song that they want. But if you are in the music industry, you don't drop songs for fans. You drop songs to sell. You understand? And he is most definitely in the music industry. So I think Head Up is one of those songs that he's planning to sell internationally, right? But yeah, that's my take. That's my take on Free. I think it's a great album. I will say though, to all the commentators that are shitting on this album, it just goes to show that you guys are just trying to be cool. To all the commentators that are hating on this album, you guys are just trying to be cool, because you cannot even break down why you hate the album. You guys just hate the album. You niggas need to do your research. Y'all niggas looking bad out here. Y'all looking bad and stupid out here. You understand? Because you niggas don't know you don't know why. It just shows that you guys are fans. You guys just don't do this for real. You guys are just fans. You understand what I'm saying? You guys are just fans. So please do a better job. This is a great album for SA hip hop. This is a great album for the business of SA hip hop. And like, if you're gonna review an album, niggas, like, do notes, make notes, break down the album properly. But you niggas don't even know what music is. You have never made a song a day in your life. So how the hell can you break down a song? You don't even know what a synth or a lead or an arpeggiator is.
Who raised you niggas?
You understand? So yeah, you niggas do a better job, bro. Y'all are embarrassing. I will end it that way. Y'all are embarrassing, and y'all need to do better. This album is a good album. This album is a great album, actually. Y'all niggas need to do better. Y'all need to stop this divisive thing of, oh, hey, Reese this, oh, nasty that. You niggas suck, bro. Like, do your job. If this is your job and that pays you, have more respect for your job. Do your job properly, right? They can't appreciate the nuance. They don't even know what nuance means, I'm sure. You know what I'm saying? And, like, niggas must, you niggas must just get, like, do the right thing. Jesus Christ. All right, cool. That was the Nasty C. Are we done? Are we done with replay value? I think, TJ, I've mentioned the replay value in as far as this man has 6 radio songs on here, or potential radio songs, 7 potential radio songs. The replay value is going to be big, because a lot of these songs are going to end up on radio, and people are going to listen to, it's 16 songs. He has about 7, right? So that leaves 9, right? If you remove them 7 songs and then you just let the quintessential human being just listen to them because radio is just pushing them, you are listening to an EP. So I think the replay value is so high because the songs are catered for radio. Replay value in as far as the culture, I'm not necessarily sure. The culture is looking for something different. In as far as raps. Matter of fact, the culture doesn't even know what they're looking for because of these niggas that are outside. Niggas make me sick. Right, but yeah. Any other questions before we jump to Zynga? We got about 40 minutes before I close this thing. So any questions before we jump to Zynga and Speedster? The Zynga and Speedster thing is not even going to be that long. It's going to be very, very, very quick. I'm going to stand with Zynga and defend Zynga, and I'll explain to you guys why. And as much as I said I do respect Speedster and everything that he has done for the culture, I feel like in that regard, Speedster was out of line. Right. Speedster was out of line. So if you guys don't have any questions for in as far as Free, we can get to the Speedster and Zynga thing. Are we good? We good. All right, cool. Let's go. I want to go to, if you're on Twitch, right, you'll be able to see this. I want to go to Speedster and Zynga. Right. For those who don't know what happened, Zynga went on to 5 hip-hop nights with DJ Speedster. Right. And as he went there, Lord of the Jig was explaining. Right. Lord of the Jig was explaining. I'll explain, Rulani. Relax your body. There's conduct here. Lord of the Jig was explaining his career. Here's how it starts. I know a whole lot of you guys react to clickbait. I mean, you react to Ang's Corner clickbait, right? I done seen who you niggas pedestal, so I don't care who you're rooting for. You niggas don't have critical thinking, unfortunately, but that's on you. But I'm going to bring all context to the table, and you guys will understand why I stand with Zinga.
No, this is easy for me because this is what we do as rappers. So the pen was.
Oh, you guys don't rap?
Huh?
Just write.
Yeah, we write. It depends on
freestyle.
It depends. Depends. If you get a chance, you can freestyle. If you like,
Here's
also.
a chance.
We're going to stop it there, and then we're going to go back, right? I'm going to play it 10 minutes prior to that moment, because that's the moment that you guys saw, right? I'm going to play it 10 minutes prior to that moment so we can actually hear the context as to how they get to that point.
I really did the music guy thing, you know, because I can just point at the plaque on the wall, like, oh, yeah, you know, even for the grandkids, like, oh, yeah, no, I used to, yeah, well.
Yeah.
What do you think Pori saw in you? Because he created that beat specifically for you, right?
Yeah, which was crazy. I guess he saw the work I was doing with the pen on the other artists' music, because we'd have like Lindo, Mafigizolo come in, Shikana.
And
like,
you'd be writing for them.
you know, the pen. And for me, even while penning that, I'm never thinking like I could as a my song type thing. I'm just lending the, you know, the technicalities that come with harnessing and honing being a rapper.
Did it feel like you're writing a reference track?
It's like, it's like, oh no, this is easy for me because this is what we do as rappers. So the pen was.
Oh, you guys don't rap?
Huh?
Just write.
Yeah, we write. It depends on
freestyle.
It depends. Depends. If you get a chance, you can freestyle. If you like,
Here's
also.
a chance.
Now we'll stop. I don't like this because it's contrived, right? I don't like this because it's contrived because the context was, you heard Shabzy ask him, hey, what did Pori see in you for him to make that beat for you? Right? And he's explaining, oh, I've been writing. I was writing for myself, Figizolo, Mlindo, and all of these guys, right? And they're asking about the technique. You understand? They're asking about the technique. The context of this question is, so you write, right? You don't rap, you don't freestyle. As per the context of the question that Shabzy asked, how did Pori make the beat for you? Right? Or why did Pori make the beat for you? It's like, oh, I think Pori made the beat for me because he saw the work that I was doing while I was with him. Right? While I was with him, making the songs from Lindo, Mafigizolo, and all them. Right? And it's like, oh, so you write. You don't rap. It's like, oh, well, I rap, I write. Sometimes I freestyle. It's like, how about you freestyle now? That's not the we talking about writing songs of a different genre completely, because I have a songwriting skill set that I hone through rap. That's the context of the conversation. Why do I need to freestyle in that context? Why? What's the purpose of me freestyling if I'm answering a question that was asked by a co-host in as far as my writing capabilities that essentially came forward and were built while I was still a rapper, right? And then clickbait shows us this.
Freestyle. I told you when I
There's
came
the
in,
chance.
you're not gonna make me rap.
Why don't you want to rap?
You can't make me rap.
It has
dog.
nothing to do with
How you gonna
freestyling.
make me rap? You know how I came up.
Some people don't.
Who doesn't?
I know. But there might be someone listening that
Who doesn't
doesn't.
know how I came up?
You see, so what he's doing now is that he's creating a moment that wasn't even there. There's no need to create that moment. You are milking the cat, as Becky's saying. There's no need for him to create that moment. The conversation was, I'm writing songs of a different genre for artists that don't do this rap thing that we do. Mafigizolo, And they were talking about Dlala, which I believe is a song that is not of our genre or of our culture. You understand what I'm saying? Now, if you're asking me to rap, when I also had told you previously that I don't rap, dog, I'm not going to freestyle. You understand? And then you force me to freestyle to get clickbait. It's a problem. But it gets worse. Because as we move forward, they change their tone when he stands on his ground. And they say, oh, you can actually say you don't want to rap. That's still hip hop. Then why the hell are you making a clickbait video? Let's go.
Finding our identity, we're still trying new features and so forth.
First and foremost, this is what he says. This is what he says. He goes on to say, oh, the show actually doesn't have no freestyle rap, whatever. We are finding our identity, right? We're trying some things out. This is what he says.
Gentlemen.
I mean, let's have the conversation.
Yeah,
Like, it sounds like you have a perspective.
Yeah, because I also heard you say on a couple of interviews, like,
A couple is crazy.
why you gotta rap? Why would you go rap on Speedster's show?
That's
and
not what
I
I
actually
said.
and
What
I
quote is that?
and
What are you
I actually
quoting that
said
from?
last week where I said, well, to answer you, Zinger, this show is brand new. We are still finding our identity. We're still trying new features and so forth. So
Yeah.
the freestyle thing is something we just introduced.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
And so that's what.
So the freestyle thing is something that you just introduced. Why? Because the K-Kid video took off. Because you asked Tony Diamani to rap. He didn't rap. It didn't take off. Of which Zinga also asks that question. So you saw that it took off. And you're like, oh, okay, cool. So we're going to make this a thing. And we're going to drop those clips. Right? We're going to drop those clips continuously. Right? Let's see.
What I was saying, I was like, that's kind of unfair.
No, but it had already been. It
Done.
happened before Key.
Before
Key
Key.
wasn't the
But
first
did
one.
Kid know she was
You
going to
didn't
have to
listen
rap
to me,
when she came
Planet.
here?
look, the first of all, you see how like you didn't want to rap?
Yeah.
It's chilled.
You see how you didn't want to rap? It's chilled. So why did we chastise K-Kid? Right? Because you made K-Kid look crazy. And I was one of the people that chastised K-Kid. Right? That, oh, you got to rap, whatever the case may be. Because the context of what happened that day was that. Like, oh, rap. We got to rap. Whoop, 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 whoop. Now you're talking to a retired rapper who just came back. Right? You come into a retired rapper who just came back, who's also a podcaster. You understand? You asking him to rap when the context of the question has nothing to do with rap. He says he doesn't want to rap. You refer that, oh, it was okay. He also refers, right, to Tony Diamani, and Tony Diamani didn't rap, I believe. Right? And Speedster asked, oh, then why didn't the Tony Diamani clip take off? So to me, it sounds like, oh, now we're going to create this whole system because the clickbait worked. It seems contrived now. You milking the cat.
It's all good. The problem came with the clickbait tweet.
The clickbait tweet that was caused by the clickbait video that you fed us. It's very important to note. The clickbait tweet is caused by the clickbait video that you gave to us. It's very important to note. Right? It's very important to note. Because the context here, the reason why I stand with Zinga, is the context here is I am here, right? I am here to talk about all the business ventures that I'm doing. Me coming back to rap, but most importantly, me expanding my network. The conversation from the co-host is, why did Pori make a beat for you of a different culture or of a different genre? You are explaining why he did or why you thought he did. Speedster's asking you to rap. Under what circumstances? I just need to understand. Under what circumstances? Right? Under what circumstances? The circumstances don't dictate rapping. The circumstances was, why did Pori make a beat for you of a different genre? Or maybe because he saw the music that I was making for other bros of a different genre. The reason why I can make this music is because I've been honing my pen as a rapper for years, sitting with the best hit makers in the country. Why am I freestyling at this current moment when we're talking about a different genre? Completely.
Okay, but you're not answering the question.
What is your
She
question?
know she was gonna have to rap.
No.
But let's speak to. Okay, I saw TTP
So
on
that
your
means
show.
she's unprepared to rap.
No.
then.
How are you unprepared to rap as a rapper?
That one I stand with. That one I stand with. How are you unprepared to rap as a rapper? But context is very important. The context, as Shabzy will say later in this interview, the context with K Keed is it was banter back and forth. You know what I mean? So it's like, oh, if it's banter and back and forth, let's do the rap thing. Right? Let's do the rap thing. You understand? This is not that. And then on top of that, you are trying to take it off of you and say, oh, it's because she said this. No, dog. You clickbaited us. We reacted a specific way, right? Upon context, the reaction of the people was right. Because the context, right, needed K-Kid to rap. The context of Zinga, there is no context. There is no context. The same way that Slicker told him, like, hey, listen, dog. Yeah, he's not standing on what he did. He's most definitely not standing on what he did. Because if I come through, if he invites me, right, for example, if he invites me, now this will go different with me because I always keep something in the tuck, right? But if I don't have something in the tuck, I've never had something in the tuck or I haven't had something in the tuck for 8 months. I've been a podcaster for 8 months. And you come talk to me about UNC'S Corner and all the work that I do at UNC'S Corner, right? And I'm like, oh, yeah, I used to rap, you know. I got a couple of projects out. I used to rap, but now I'm really focusing on UNC'S Corner because, like, the culture needs me, you know. And you're like, oh, word? You used to rap? How? Let's check. Nigga, I'm not going to rap. I'm here as UNC to talk about UNC'S Corner. Why do you want me to rap? I'm not even here as a rapper. I'm here as a commentator. I just used to rap. Which is the same with Zinga. And if you watch this interview, it's 30 minutes. I'm not going to play all of it. It's 30 minutes, right? If you go watch all 30 minutes of this interview, right, Zinga stands on what he says and then Speeds is like, actually, let's get away from this K-Key thing. Same as Proverb. Proverb is a presenter. If someone says, hey, Proverb, rap now, it's like, nigga, I haven't touched the pen in months. You understand what I'm saying? So, in as far as K-Kid, she's a rapper, right, that was promoting an album. Contextually, they were talking about rap and everything else, right? Here, we are talking about songwriting. You understand? We are talking about songwriting. We're talking about, hey, dog, I'm just chilling here, dog. You know, I used to write songs for Piano Bros. Whoop-de-woo, whoop-de-woo, woo, woo, woo. And then the thing is that he goes, oh, okay, it's not me. Woo, 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 woo. And it's like, Speedster, dog, come on. Right? Because another thing is, when did Speedster become the super hip-hop guy? I said this yesterday when I was having, or day before yesterday when I was having a conversation with Becky, that when did he become the super boom bap guy? Of which, that's what Zinga also was asking. Like, dog, we know how you come up. You know how I came up. Like, we know how we all came up. When did you become the super boom bap we rapping guy? Of which his answer was like, oh no, we just starting this thing out. What? It's a brand new show. We're just starting things out. And then he's like, okay, then tell the niggas that come up to your show that if they come up to your show, they have to rap. So if Zinga didn't say to him, do it, you gotta tell these niggas, he wasn't, right? Which goes back to one thing that Shishiliza said when I was talking to Shishiliza about this, that it seemed contrived from the get-go. And I was like, nah, I don't think it's contrived. But this is contrived. This itself is contrived because when did you become this guy? You know what I mean? When did you become this guy? You may have done that in the VAR or wherever, but dog, the industry knows you with mayo. When did you become this guy? You understand what I'm saying? So it's very important to note that you I see like Rod Keith says he likes pressure, whatever the case may be. Rod Keith, what you need to understand that, and I'm going to be very, very, very clear with you. What you need to understand is that not everybody needs to rap, number one. But also, number two, a lot of niggas that really want to hear niggas rap is niggas that haven't wrote raps a day in their lives, or good raps a day in their lives. You understand what I'm saying? So it's very important to note that I said this again when I was talking to Becky. I said hip hop requires an authoritarian figure. Speedster's not that guy. Speedster's not that guy. He's not the authority. He can never be the authority. That's why I like the Slicker interview. Slicker was like, hey, you can't do that. You can't. Right? You understand what I'm saying? You can't do that. So I like what Slicker said. Speedster cannot be the authority guy, because if you are the authority guy and you are if part of you being the authority guy is taking, it's very important to note, if you being the authority guy is bringing in a video camera into your studio, right? Creating content on YouTube, on your thingy, not even the radio station's YouTube, on your YouTube. You understand? Your personal YouTube, right? And then you take it and then you post it on social media to get a reaction. What are you chasing? Because you're most definitely not chasing, right, authority stuff. Because this then feeds only you. When we go watch this, we go on your channel. So what does this say about you? Are you doing this for the culture? Are you doing this for you? Because essentially you are doing this on 5FM. You understand what I'm saying? And you are essentially the only hip-hop show that is nationally syndicated. Big shout out to that. As Zinga said, go crazy. But if you're going to be the authoritative figure, act like one. Stop ambushing niggas to freestyle. Yes, we love freestyle, right? We love freestyling. We also do love when someone says, hey, let's kick a free. You expect everybody to show up. But context is very important. With everybody else, I cannot speak on it. But with this one, big dog, this man wasn't there on that type of time. And he did say prior, dog, I'm not rapping. Because he's writing, he's probably not right. He even says himself like, hey, right? Zinga even says himself like, hey, I think I'm going to go back. Because in as much as I'm doing this podcast thing and whatever the case may be, there's people who want to listen to my music. So I think that's what I'm going to go do now. Moving forward, I think this is something that I'm going to incorporate in my life. I'm going to go make my music. Now, there's people that don't like Zinga music. It doesn't matter. Whether you like Zinga music or you don't like Zinga music, it is inconsequential to the greater hip-hop sphere. You understand what I'm saying? But it's very important to note that this moment had nothing to do, right, with what this nigga showed us. And again, I want to speak to every commentator out there. You niggas love reacting to clickbait. You niggas are like, you are the guys that are ruining also this thing, because you guys, right, like I saw Swisher react to this and it's like, did you even watch the full 30-minute interview? I hate that commentators don't do their work. They're just quick to come out and say some shit, and then it creates a crazy narrative, and then y'all come to UNC'S Corner and then y'all, you understand? But if you're a rapper, in my opinion, you should have something in the tuck. Look, I understand, but if you're not Zinga. This man has been walking around doing interviews all the time. He's not sitting there writing bars. I can guarantee you. This man sits there, does the interview, goes home, raises his children, does, like, he's outside, he's got a show on YFM, he's executive producing a project, he's doing the UNC'S Corner thing, by the way, right? It's not the UNC'S Corner thing, but like, he's doing that thing of bringing rappers that are on his show, right, bringing them together and like creating an album. He's executive producing an album, right, of other rappers. He has no time to write rhymes. You understand what I'm saying? He's outside doing things. So to expect the man that hasn't even touched the pen for quite some time, we would speculate, to freestyle because you want to get a clip, that's crazy to me, bro. Where's the integrity? But I'm learning every day that niggas in hip hop don't have integrity. And again, if they see this, if you see this, dog, and you ask, yo, who the fuck is this nigga, bro? Hey, I'm just a normal guy from the internet, dog. If you feel disrespected, I don't mean disrespect in any way, shape, or form. This is my opinion. You understand? But I feel like that was crazy what you did right there. That was crazy what you did right there, and the way that you presented it is crazy. And if your whole thing is, hey, bro, we gotta create clickbait to get people to watch the video, right? I get the hustle. You understand? I get the hustle. I do get it. I understand it. You understand? But yeah, dog, like it gets weird. It gets weird very quickly. It gets weird very quickly. But big shout out to Speedster. Big shout out to Shabzy. Big shout out to Zinga himself. You understand? I just think that moment was very contrived, right? I think contextually it was off, and I think it sets just a bad precedent. It just sets an extremely bad precedent in as far as like what we're doing with this, right? Season Scoop, you knew, dog. You knew that you're gonna go rap. You knew. You understand? Like, it's not there. You're not surprised. So, I'm sure with Sway, niggas know. You know what I mean? Like, you don't just get there. You know. So yeah, that's my 2 cents in as far as the Zynga and Speech the thing. I'm seeing the whole chat is in agreement with me, right? So I don't think there's anything that we need to discuss further. I saw Planet wanted to say something, but I think he retracted the statement as I expanded further as to my thoughts on this. You understand? Yeah, I think it's weird, niggas. I think it's weird. Like, commentators, do your work. Thank you for the gifts, guys. But commentators, do your work, bro. Like, commentators, do your work. Like, really, like, do your work. Stop being lazy. You niggas is lazy, right? I may not have the same amount of views as you guys or the same amount of followers as you guys. I don't care, actually, right? But do your work, bro. You niggas suck. You niggas suck, right? Yeah, it's sad that he's gonna do the exact same thing, but it's the game, I guess, bro. Like, it's the game, you know. Then why should it's the game. You understand what I'm saying? It's the game. So I guess if that's the game we playing, I guess that's the game we playing. Niggas is playing games, right? And I'm not gonna act like I'm not gonna act like I'm absolved from the games, right? Like, the clickbait is the clickbait, right? The clickbait is the clickbait. You're trying to get niggas to watch is the content situlala, right? But like, at least try even make the clickbait contextual. You know, try and make the clickbait contextual. You understand? So, excuse me. Yeah, that's me. Excuse me. That's me in as far as the speech, the thing. I think we can close it right here. Oh, before I close it, I will say to those, I think it was TJ that thought it was a conspiracy theory that my page is throttled. TJ, I did a great I don't know if even TJ's here, but I'll just say it. I did a great experiment today. I took one video from this account and took a video from the UNC'S Corner account and then boosted them, right? I paid for views and followings, right? It's an hour, right? After an hour, this page got nothing. No push, no views, no followers, no nothing. I put money behind it, by the way. No views, no followers, no nothing. The UNC'S Corner page is booming. We're probably gonna be on 800 views now. I mean 800 followers. By tomorrow we'll probably hit 900 or 1,000. So what does that mean? That means that this page is being throttled intentionally, because now I'm using TikTok systems to check, right? That, okay, let's see. So it is being throttled. You understand? So now it's no longer a conspiracy theory. Someone, somewhere, somehow, a higher up was like, we putting a ban on that page specifically. You see, it didn't let Sandra know that I'm live. So somewhere, somehow, right? It's essentially somebody is banning this thing, and maybe somebody's banning this page because of the things that I'm saying out here as far as hip hop. But I will say though, all right, I remember when I was listening to the JBP, and Joe Budden was like, "Dog, I've been throttled at a specific number on Instagram for years because I didn't play the game." Right? So that number will stay that way. No matter what happens, that number will stay that way. And I believe I'm going through something similar also. right? I believe I'm going through something similar on this page, but it's fine as long as the UNC'S Corner page and other pages exist, right? We'll continue pushing. That's why it is very important to subscribe to the YouTube. Do subscribe to the YouTube UNC'S Corner Live. It's very important to follow the other UNC'S Corner, which is attached to this. It's live with me. It's very important to follow those. It's very important to follow the Twitch. You understand? It's very important to follow all other platforms. You understand? The Discord, every other platform, right? The Instagram, the Facebook, right? We are everywhere. The Twitter. It's very important to follow these places because this page specifically is being throttled by TikTok or whomever is in charge of throttling my page. And I just want to let them know that it's okay. It's okay. I'm not going to fight anymore, right? I've done my research now. I've figured it out. You guys are stopping me from growing this account, and it's fine. So I'll continue doing what I'm doing. And I just want to say thank you to everybody that funds the corner. Thank you to everybody that watches the corner. Thank you to everybody that interacts with the corner. Thank you to everybody that watches the YouTube, that subscribe to the YouTube. We went from 50 subscribers to 100 and we almost 150 now. So big shout out to everybody. Let's get to 200, 300, 500. Rapper University coming soon. Did you file? You can't file a complaint to TikTok, but it's okay. How will the new subscription model change Rapper U? I'll have to go figure that one out again, as I was about to say. If anything, Rapper U will probably be on Twitch. Right. So as this platform becomes weird, we'll probably do the Twitch thing. As this platform becomes weird, we'll probably do the YouTube membership thing. As this platform becomes weird, we'll probably do the Patreon thing. There's a lot of paywall. There's a lot of paywall options that we can implement right to the U. So even things like Rapper University, right, we can figure it out. The same way that I live stream this thing and then I post the videos on YouTube. I can live stream subscriber only on Twitch and then post it on a Patreon that people pay for every month when I do Rapper U classes. So I'll definitely let you guys know. Merch is coming, right? I've been speaking to Becky also in as far as merch. Merch is going to be coming very soon. Grind 2 is going to be coming very soon. A bunch is going to be coming very soon. Make sure that you stay locked in. But again, thank you. It's been real to the night shift gang. I'm gonna see you guys in 10 minutes. But to everybody, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching Wild Take Wednesdays right here on UNC'S Corner. I was your host, Unc. If you didn't catch it, you will catch it on YouTube tomorrow. It's UCMG. We don't no paperwork, we just make the paperwork. Let's go. Peace out.